All right, so we just did some grading, and I went ahead and put a subregion in for the path along the area that we graded. So if you want to do that, you can. The next thing I want to do is actually go ahead and put in an adaptive component. Just on the top, we'll do something really simple up here, and then I'll do another one that's a little bit more complex, a little more complex. Um, just a component up here to create a little trellis at the top. So you might be hot up here or something when you get up here. So the first thing I'm going to do is a little strange. I'm going to go to my Massing and Site tab. I'm actually going to place some trees where I want to put a line to denote where my the base of my trellis is going to be. And the reason for this is because trees seek out the topography level and place themselves on it, so you can see these two trees find the closest topography line and put their level on it. And that means that when I go to start my adaptive component and my divided lines, if I go to if I go to architecture component model in place, and I come in and I do a mass, right? Mass 1, oh damn it, site trellis, right? If I were to come in and try to draw like a reference line with 3D snapping on, and I come out to over the topography, it doesn't see any of the topography, right? So it wouldn't snap to it. It will see other things like the model lines that are actually flat up, but if I were to start drawing points, right, it draws them kind of flat. It's not drawing them on the surface. So if I come in and look at this, right, it's drawing them flat, and I don't want that. So having put those trees in, what I can do is I can then go to reference line, make sure 3D snapping and drawing faces on, and then I can snap from point to point, and you'll see I'm just using the trees as snap points. There is a video on this um, as well. Martin did it for us after class. So once I get that guy in, what I want to do is I want 3 of these because I want to use a 3-point component. I'm just going to make a couple of copies of it, maybe for later use too. I'm just going to copy it back. Maybe let's get in a little closer. Maybe 2 meters, right? So I have one back, sort of in the ground, sinking into the ground. Then I'm going to go into my south elevation, right? And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to pick the one that I created and then left click over here, and I'm just going to copy it up. Maybe 3,500, 3,200, maybe 3,000, right? And then I'm just going to come over here and pick that one I just copied up, and I'm going to copy it over. So I'm just making copies of things, really. Copy it over. Let's go ahead and pick that, copy it, right, and copy it over maybe 5,000. We'll see, might be too much. No, I think that'll work fine. So now we have these guys set up, and I can come in and divide the surfaces or divide the lines. So if I come over into my 3D view, and I'm just going to go to hidden line here, and for these purposes, now that I don't really need the topography anymore, I'm just going to come and turn off the planting and the topography. So all I've got is my lines, right? Those model lines, ignore those are left over from making the path. But basically what I want to do now is just create these guys, select those guys and divide them. So I'm going to divide the path, and then I'm going to put a parameter on that path division right here by selecting associate family parameter and going to new, and I'm going to type in DIB and click OK and click OK. Alright. Now what I want to do is I actually want to place something that I can see when I go to finish the mass, and I usually will do that in case I forget. But if you do a model like a circle, and just like that. Now I'm going to finish this mass, and when I come back we'll place a component on there. But if I hit finish, right, and well, you can see the points, which is enough too, but now you can actually select it and get back in, so I don't really need that circle. So let's finish. But you need to have something that you can pick to edit in place to get back in there to see those reference lines. So if you don't have divisions on it, you only have reference lines, you're going to need to put a model line in there to do that. Okay. All right, when we get back, I'll put a component on there.